All right, guys, welcome to Changemaker TV. I'm pumped and excited to have a great friend, another great friend of mine on the show today. Woo woo, Mark Mariani. And Mark is, we were just chatting. We met in Melbourne at TRX instructor training course way back, and the thing that stood out to me then was just his passion, his energy, and just a great guy inside and out. And now that I've got to know him, obviously a lot more, he's definitely all of that and more. He's got an incredible background in the military, ex-Marine, in the most elite kind of teams. You can share a little bit more about that if you want, Mark. But and also martial arts background. Spent a bit of time over the last, I'm not sure how many years, but in Phuket and now in Bali, and taken over now the escape, is it? Retreats?
Yeah, the active escapes retreats.
Active escape retreats. So it's been really exciting to see your journey and be a part of that. And that too is why I wanted to bring you on this show today, because I'm sure there's lots of people out there that would love to kind of redefine themselves and create change in their life, just like what you have. So your story is really inspiring, and really happy to have you here today.
Well, thank you so much, Judy. And like I told you before the call, it's such a pleasure and honor, and I respect you to the highest degree. And first coming into the career, like I met you, and I saw your presentation skills and how long you were in the industry, and I was fairly new, and I was like, wow, that's I want to become like that. And so just kind of being here and going through my own journey, trials, tribulations, and to be on this call with you, it's a pleasure and honor. And thank you so much for that introduction.
Pleasure. So share a little bit with those people watching, a little bit about your career and how you've kind of got to where you have right now, and how you've made those, that transition from military, into the fitness industry.
Awesome. Yeah. So I do want to clarify one thing, is that during the intro you said ex-Marine. There's no such thing as an ex-Marine.
Oh,
once
my
Marine,
bad. Sorry.
Always a Marine.
That's right. I have heard that.
So I was in the Marine Corps, a former Marine. I was in for 4 years. I was with an anti-terrorism unit.
Yep.
So basically traveled all around the Persian Gulf. I was in the Persian Gulf for about 3.5 years, doing a lot of security, protective, anti-terrorism, security measures. Had a great tour. It was amazing. And I set a lot of goals for myself when I was in the Marine Corps. Just going back to the very beginning at boot camp, I was like, man, I'm going to graduate, honor graduate. And, lo and behold, after 3 months, I gave it 110%. And I got to wear those dress blues. I got to, get that medal, by the commanding general of Paris Island, and, achieve that goal. And I kind of did that all throughout the Marine Corps, which it was an amazing tour. So, the Marine Corps was definitely mentally challenging, but more, I want to say mental fortitude, mentally, physically challenging. And, I come from a strong martial arts background. I was always gifted with that stuff, but I barely graduated high school with my grades. Because I was like, I don't need to study. I don't need to learn all that stuff. So, the academics wasn't really my thing, and I had such a good tour, and I accomplished so much when I was in the Marine Corps. I was like, you know what? I'm going to get out, and I'm going to go to college, and I'm going to challenge myself mentally with, with the stuff that I wasn't good at. So I got out of the Marine Corps, and I remember, taking the entrance exams to get into college. Now, we're talking basic math, basic English, and, just all your basic stuff. And, again, this call's about, being open and honest. And, I didn't pass them. I didn't pass those tests.
Yeah.
It was hard. I didn't pass them, and I couldn't get into college. So I could have just said, you know what, piss on that, college ain't for me. However, I went and saw an old algebra teacher of mine from high school that I had a good relationship with. And I said, hey, Fred, I'm looking to get into college. Is there any way that you can tutor me and, help me with the math side? And I did the same thing with somebody on the English side. And so I had different tutors, and I spent about 6 months, going to these tutors 3 times a week and studying and learning, like, man, just all the basic stuff. And then so, set up another appointment to take all the entrance exams again. And lo and behold, I passed them. Just barely, but yeah, I passed them.
That's
and
all you
so,
need.
Man, yeah, I got accepted, for all the entry-level courses to get into college. And so, yeah, the journey there started, and I remember all the basic courses. After that first semester, I got all A's. And I was like, wow, like, how'd that happen? And so the next semester, I got all A's on, all the other classes, and I was like, oh shit, year 1 done, and I got all A's. And definitely a lot came from the Marine Corps, the discipline and everything I established there. That definitely rolled over because I was older, I wasn't partying, and none of that. I was studying because I wasn't gifted. It wasn't second nature. So, if you had somebody that had, I guess, the book knowledge, they didn't have to study as much as I did. Whereas I had to put in hours and hours of studying to learn the stuff and comprehend. And so yeah, just to kind of cut to the chase. So I went 2 years, got all A's, got my associate's degree, and I was like, oh shit, like if I did this for 2 years, man, and this is where I set the goal. I said, you know what, like I'm going to graduate with honors in college, and I'm going to prove something to myself, nobody else, that you can do anything you want, because that wasn't my stronghold. And so I did. I set a goal. I said, I'm going to graduate summa cum laude. I'm going to walk across that stage. I'm going to have those cords, draped around, my cap and my gown, and like I'm going to do this for myself and and for my parents and my mom, and that was that. So again, long story short, to kind of summarize, there is I graduated with the highest of honors. I got 2 B's in 4 years. I mean, I look back on it now, and I'm just like, how did I do that?
That's insane.
Like honestly. Like I look at it and it kind of baffles me, but I know how. It was just it was the dedication. It was not giving up. It was perseverance and just sticking to my guns and sticking to my goals and giving it everything I got. So graduated college with a degree in criminal justice with a concentration in private security, and then I ended up getting a job, getting hired by this firm based out of Los Angeles with firm, which is the nation's leading executive protection firm called Gavin DeBecker and Associates. At the time, it was about a 150-man firm, and we protected everybody from your multi-billionaires to your celebrities to your really high-end athletes, your celebrity athletes. So yeah, got into the firm. It was really hard. Everything from polygraph examinations to written examinations to physical fitness examinations and like all that stuff. Got in. And then I got hired, I got assigned to a family, a really high-end family based out of Montecito, California. And they were multi-billionaires, and they had, houses all over the world, 7-story yachts, and this crazy lifestyle. Crazy. And then I got in, and I do what I do, and, I worked my way up. I was that protective agent working the night shifts, kind of hate life, and then, and then I went to the day shifts, and then I became the assistant detail leader, and then, before I knew it, I was the detail leader of a 10-man team, traveling around the world, living out of a suitcase 9 months out of the year, and, protecting multi-billionaires.
Wow.
So with that being said, everybody thought that I was James Bond. Yes, I had a bulletproof vest. I carried a gun, and we did all this, high speed, low drag stuff. And the money was very good. I traveled all over the world. However, deep down inside, I was fucking miserable.
Yeah.
I was fucking miserable, and. Again, from the outside, I kind of put on this front, and I had to be 2 different people. With the clients in the firm, I was this guy. I showed no pain. I was a robot. I could do anything.
Yeah.
That's what I had to show.
Yeah.
But the other side, the true me didn't agree with a lot of the stuff that I saw, didn't agree with a lot of the stuff that I did.
Yeah.
And basically what I was condoning, what I was, helping this family achieve. And because of confidentiality reasons, like of course I can't go into details. But yeah, to summarize that, I was fucking miserable, and it really affected my health. So one of the reasons why I got out of that is because I was on a detail towards the end, and I remember my vision. I was sitting on the stairwell, and I remember it, vividly to this day. I was sitting on the stairwell, the 7-story yacht in the Bahamas, and I had all these phones. I had the React phone to the clients. I had the phone to the firm. I had the other phone to the to all my guys, and I had 3 phones, and I'm juggling, and it was just, my cortisol levels were freaking through the roof. My adrenal glands were completely burned out, beyond fatigue. I was addicted to sleeping pills, and so bad that I had to take one to put me asleep, and then I would wake up 3 hours later, and I would take another one just to put me asleep again.
Shit.
And you know as well as I do, that's not restorative sleep. You're not hitting, the REM, and you're not, man, you're not restoring. And so with that being said, like, the body will say, you're done.
Yeah, that's enough.
It'll take so much, and then it just starts shutting down. So one of the things for me, everybody's a little bit differently, but one of the things for me is, like, my senses started going. So my eyesight, my vision. When I was sitting there, I was looking at my BlackBerry, and I was like, I was trying to read an email, and it was just all blurry, and I was like, man, like, what's going on here? And then I was like, well, maybe it's the other BlackBerry. And then I was like, fuck, okay. and then I'm like wiping my eyes, and I'm like, okay, maybe I didn't sleep well. So the next day it was the same thing. It was getting worse and worse, and I couldn't see shit. And I couldn't see that. I couldn't read stuff. And I was like, well, maybe my eyes are going. Maybe I'm getting old. And then, like, I started, like, my sinuses, because the adrenal glands, like, my sinuses, I couldn't breathe through my nose, and I was like, well, maybe I got a sinus infection, and it's affecting my eyes. And then it got to the point, like, it was so bad that I had a request from the client to go to a hospital, to go see a doctor. So I flew from the Bahamas. The closest hospital was in Miami, and I saw an ear, nose, and throat doctor who scoped me, did the exam, was like, okay, your sinuses are fine, go see an eye doctor. So I went to go see an eye doctor, did his thing. He's like, your eyes are fine. And he was like, I recommend that you see a neurological doctor. So I went to go see this neurologist, and so they filled me up with dye, and they put me into the MRI machine, and they basically, scanned my brain, and because he thought maybe I had a tumor. And so I came out, and basically he gave me the diagnosis and said, your brain's fine, you're good.
You're all clear.
And I was like, but I'm not good. Like, I'm not good. Like, I can't sleep. I have anxiety attacks. I can't see. My hearing's going. I can't breathe through my nose. Like, fuck, I'm not good. And so I went back to Santa Barbara, and I saw a holistic doctor who was really renowned in Santa Barbara. And literally for the first hour, he sat there behind this desk, and he had all these books and all these fucking medications and shit behind him. And he said, Mr. Mariani, tell me about your life. What do you do for a living? I was like, oh shit, here we go. And so I just, and so I laid it to him, and I told him what I did, and how much it blah 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 blah. And he sat there, and he started listening. And then I remember all of a sudden he's pulling books off the shelf, and he's pulling all these medicines off, and he's taking all these notes. And I'm sitting there thinking in the back of my mind, like, oh shit, like, man, am I screwed? Like, what's wrong with me? And so, and then we were finished, and he's like, okay, come with me. And then we drew a bunch of blood, and then we took, swabs, lab swabs. We sent that away to the lab, and then I pissed on some sticks, and, we checked acid alkaline levels. And so we ran all these tests. And he kind of already knew what was going on, but we ran all these tests. And then a week later, I came back, and he was like, okay, are you ready? Here's what we got. And so he said in all his years of being a practitioner, he's never ever seen anybody with cortisol levels that were so out of whack as mine were.
Shoot.
Cortisol levels in the morning, that's what gets us up. that's what wakes us up, and that's when we have the spark. That's when it starts, is in the morning, and then it gets higher and higher, and then it starts to come down and down and down, and then the melatonin, serotonin, that kicks in, and then now we're ready for the parasympathetic, and and get ready for bed. But mine were just the opposite. At 3 o'clock in the morning, mine were so elevated and so spiked. He's like, I've never seen this before. And he said, you're so acidic, it's beyond belief. Your adrenal glands, everything. And he said, I'm going to cut to the chase. He said, I have respect for what you do. And I'm not telling you to quit your job, but if you want to live to see 40, and and you want to live to see 40 without a disease, cancer, or something, and then Mr. Mariani, you've got to make some changes in your life, whether it's dealing with stress, more positively, or you just need to make some changes. And then I remember I left, and I already knew all this stuff, but I left, and I looked myself in the mirror when I got home, and I was like, that's it. And I knew deep down inside, I was like, this isn't my calling in life. I can offer the world more. This is not why God put me on this earth. And I made that decision. I was like, I'm done. Yeah. I'm done. And I remember, like, family and friends, like, they thought I was crazy. They're like, you worked, 15 years to get to this point. You're making all this money, and you have this glamorous job, and you might want to take some time to rethink. And I was like, nah, this is not why God put me on this earth. And and then I was like, man, do my job for 1 week, and I guarantee you'll know why.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I did it for 5 years, but it was my ego. It was my ego, because of the Marine Corps. We had this mentality, and it was sleep deprivation. Like if you go 30 hours with no sleep, one of my guys who was a former Navy SEAL or a former Army Ranger Special Ops, he'd be like, 30 hours, man, I did 35 last week. You freaking wussy. And it was like, I'll get all the sleep I want whenever I'm dead. Well, guess what? I was headed in that direction.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, and then, another reason why I didn't quit a long time ago, and I stuck it out for 5 years, was I did not want to let the client or the job or the line of work get the best of me. Because I'm a former Marine. Like, I could do this. Yeah. But look what I went through. I was so unhappy. I had no life. I was a robot. I was unhealthy. I was miserable, and I literally was killing myself. Yeah.
So how many years ago was that?
That was 7 years ago.
Yeah.
7 years ago, I pulled the plug.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, like when I resigned, it was okay. I'm gonna take 3 months out. I'm gonna go on vacation. I'm gonna come back to normal. Then I'm gonna go back to the U.S. I'm gonna go back to the firm, get a new client, and I'm gonna stay in the same line of work. It was kind of the plan because I didn't know what I was gonna do. And then I decided I'm going to go to Thailand. I'm going to train Muay Thai. I'm going to fight out there. And yeah. So I put everything in storage, packed up everything. I went to Thailand, 3 months, Tiger Muay Thai. And I was there for about a week. And then everything started coming down. Like the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight, like it started coming down. The sympathetic started kicking in. And then I started sleeping a couple hours, and then a little bit more, and then I was getting that mental clarity. And I'm like, whoa, man, okay, this is what it's like to be normal again. Yeah. And then from there, I was just like, okay, I was thinking clearly, and I was like, okay, so I know I can always go back to doing the protective stuff. I have, a fucking hell of a resume. Not a problem. I know I can go back to making money. However, I personal trained all through college. That's how I made money, and I absolutely loved it. I loved helping people and giving back to people. I've always been in martial arts and fitness and health, and people have all kind of looked up to the standard that I set. So I was like, you know what? Like, I want to help people. I want to make change, and I want to do that with something that I enjoy and I love, and I'm very passionate.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, I'm gonna make a career change. You know, at the age of, man, what was I? I was 30, 33, 30, or 32. I said, you know, like I can do something else. You
Yeah.
know, not a problem. So yeah, that's when I made the shift, and then I started reading all these books, and I started seeing all these names because I started working with fighters. I saw a certain niche for strength and conditioning. All these books I was reading, I kept seeing this name, Martin Rooney, Training for Warriors, Martin Rooney. And he was like the pioneer of strength and conditioning for fighters. Before the UFC was the UFC. And I was like, man, like I need to go meet this guy. I need to go train under this guy. So I had money in the bank. I had money saved. I said, well, I'm going to invest $50,000 in myself. I'm going to travel the world. I'm going to learn as much as I can, and I'm going to seek out the best in the business and the best companies, and yeah, I'm going to invest in myself. And then yeah, it started. I went back to the state. I met Martin, got level 1, level 2 certified. I brought that system back to Phuket. We became an affiliate. Started running class after class after class, getting in the gutter. Got aligned with TRX. Met yourself and Fraser and man, God knows how many other amazing people, and that stemmed off onto this person, and then like the universe was like opening up, and it was like God saying, well, man, like, okay, you're doing my work now, you're doing good things, let me help you out.
Yeah.
And then it started snowballing, and 7 years later, I'm in Bali, I'm in paradise. I've got more headaches of, well, what opportunities do I want to do and what ones don't I want to do? That's my headache. Honestly,
That's
my
a good headache to have, bro.
Absolutely, sister.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And yeah, that's me. That's how I got it.
So what an incredible story, an incredible journey. Oh, I think one of the big things of that is just how obviously clear and important your health is. You could be, and your own happiness, really. You could be living what everyone sees as the dream job and that you've got everything. But when you haven't got your health, right? What do you got?
Don't matter.
The work stuff, like what you said, it can always bounce back. You can always come back to it. But if you develop some disease or just run yourself completely into the ground, and I think that's a big thing just in society, right? We forget just how important our health is, either until it gets to either it's too late or it gets to a point where it really shakes things up. What kind of advice would you have for people to think about, or what do you teach obviously your clients around this as well?
Yeah, so just the recommendations as far as like if you're in that rut or stuck like in your career. Yeah,
or even kind of the importance of health in our lives.
Well, yeah, man, absolutely. There's that saying, and it, and probably everybody else listening knows it, is that who wants to be the richest man in the graveyard?
Yeah.
Like that's one thing I've learned, like living abroad in Asia. Like I lived in Thailand for 5 years, and being out here for 2 years there's a lot of poverty, and I've been to a lot of like first world countries and third world countries, and in these third world countries, like you get to see these people that they live in these little tin huts, like they have nothing.
Yeah.
They have nothing. But you know what they have? They have this beautiful smile on their face.
Yeah.
And they don't, they're not wrapped around the materialism and, what they don't have. They just know what they do have, and they're content and they're happy. And, and I got to see it firsthand, man, multi-billionaires, I got to rub elbows, and money does not make you happy.
Yeah.
Does not make you healthy. You can have all the money in the world and the top chefs in the world, but they don't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that you're going to be healthy. And the way I look at it is, if you're going to sacrifice your health to make all this freaking money, and then you get all this money, you can't enjoy it.
Yeah.
You can't enjoy the convertible car and the big house, and because you got some disease, or you're in so much pain. Like, man, who wants that?
Yeah.
So my biggest thing is and you know this as a change maker is establish that balance, and your health. Like when you're healthy and you're thinking good, you're sleeping well, and you're eating, your nutrition's on par, and you're exercising, man, you can take on the world. You can make all, but when it goes the other way, like you're not thinking right, you're miserable, you're in pain, and no, you can't take on the world. You're just you're pushing through the brick wall. So health, absolutely. Like it's the number one thing that we got. We got one body and we need to take care of it.
Totally. So I know you take care of your body really well. People can obviously see even how lean you are and muscular you are. So what are some of the key things that you do to take care of your body now, kind of after being through what you went through?
Key things is rituals. Rituals like, as far as the health side of things is you and I both know that health is not just exercise.
No.
Like it's nutrition, it's the physical stuff, it's the mental meditation and well-being.
Yeah.
It's spiritual. And so what I do, I think, you change your habits, you change your life. It comes down to your rituals.
Yeah.
And, to maintain that positive state of mind, which makes me want to go to the gym and train and exercise, which makes me want to eat healthy, is I just established these rituals, attitude of gratitude. Like I was raised as a kid, with the family where we'd all hold hands and we would say prayer, say grace before every meal. Now, my sisters, my mom, my dad, they don't do this to this day. It's something that I decided a long time ago as a kid that I would continue to do. And anybody looking at this call or anybody that hears this or anybody that has ever pretty much, now I've missed it a few here and there, but anybody who's ever eaten a meal with me knows that no matter where I am, no matter who's around me, that I will say, excuse me, just give me 1 minute. I bow my head and I say a prayer. Okay, and it's not necessarily like, to God. All I'm doing is just saying thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the food that is in front of me. Thank you for what I have. Thank you for this call being, here with you. Thank you I just give thanks for whatever I have. And that's breakfast, that's lunch, that's dinner. Before I go to bed, I have a gratitude journal. So honestly, I'm not worried about what I don't have. I'm just trying to be thankful for what I have.
Awesome.
And, and again, like little things in the morning, I get up, I have my warm glass of lemon water first thing, and, and just the rituals with the food that I eat, having the right amount of proteins and carbs and fats and like, all that thing. I have that down. Like it's your rituals.
Yeah.
When I go to the gym, it's the same thing. So that's how I worry about, my health, and it's worked really well for me is the balance and realizing that it's not just one thing, it's everything.
Definitely. So where does your inspiration come from?
Okay, so I think you definitely being an interviewer and everybody listening, you can probably, based upon what we talked about, make that determination. And I'll break it down. So look at the word inspiration. Let's break that down. So it's basically inspiration is in spirit. So for me, it's when I'm in spirit, when I'm walking with God, when I have that connection. It's my life is amazing. Like nothing goes wrong. It's like I'm in this bubble and I'm protected and nothing can harm me. And if something comes my way, I'm like, man, I got that. Like I'm inspired. I'm in spirit. I'm walking with the big man. And I have the saying as being a Christian is, when God is for you, who can be against you?
Yeah.
And when I'm in spirit, like my creativity, my vision, like it's like it's like I'm on fire. I'm untouchable.
Yeah. And
so honestly, that's where I draw my inspiration is from Him. He gave me certain gifts, and again, this call is about being open. And one of my ultimate goals. Now I've got a lot of them, but one of my ultimate number one goal, if I had to put it in a priority, is that when I'm gone and I leave this earth and I'm standing at the pearly gate and I meet my maker, is that I want him to put his arms around me and I want him to look me in the eyes and I want him to say, you know what, good job, faithful servant. You've done well with the gifts that I gave you, and you've helped out a lot of people. You made a lot of change.
Yeah.
So to me, I take that personally, and that gives me the inspiration to do what I do.
Yeah. Well, that's totally obvious. You know, anyone that follows you and checks you out, they'll obviously see that shining through with the work that you do and the impact that you have and the changes that you know have been able to make in the lives that you've touched already. And I'm sure you're going to continue that and scale it up even more, which is awesome. So then that
Sure.
kind of links into your motivation and your drive to do what you do, I'm assuming.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. It definitely does. The big man upstairs, and then next would have to be my mom. My mom, and I'm going to tie it into this, is what gives me the motivation to do what I do. Is inspiration would be him, motivation would be my standards. You know, my standards for myself. When I was a kid, I remember saying, "Man, I'm never going to be overweight. I'm always going to ride skateboards. I'm 40 years old. Man, I'm still thrashing on the weekends at the bowl with the little 10-year-olds.
That's awesome.
High-fiving.
Love it.
Man, yeah.
Yeah.
And like I'm still doing backflips, and I'm still a kid. It's because I've never dropped my standards. And we have a saying at TRX, which you know damn well what that is that you know, is standards remain, but conditions change. And conditions, that's life.
Yeah.
You know, when I set certain standards for every avenue of my life, it doesn't matter where I'm at. The conditions will change, but my standards don't. And when I was a little kid, my mom, for years and years and years, you know, every night, you know, she'd tickle my back to sleep, and she would, you know, we'd say prayers, and she would say this to me. She'd say, "Mark, no matter what you do it good. Even if you're a garbage man, be the best garbage man you can possibly be."
Awesome.
And
advice.
I heard that every single night for years. I mean, you add up all the days. So, you know, people were like, "Man, well, you know, how do you do what you do?" And the answer is because I don't know how to just do it half-assed.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do it mediocre. It's been ingrained in my subconscious mind that, man, if I'm gonna wash a car, like I'm gonna wash it right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna train, I'm gonna train right. And so that's my motivation, is that I won't let down my standards. I'm not gonna let down my mom, and I'm not gonna let down my creator.
Yeah, awesome. So you think a lot of that has to do with the programming that you've got, the really great input of you know, thought from your mum. I would say possibly also the conditioning and the training, the mental training that you went through being in the Marines. I'm sure that's contributed a lot as well.
Hands down, Judy, hands down. You know as well as I do, how do you build up resilience?
Yeah.
Is you know, it's cliche, but man, I don't care how cliche it is. It's the fucking truth.
Yeah.
Is that the more you get uncomfortable, you know, or the more you get comfortable being uncomfortable, and you put yourself out there, and you look fear in the eye, and you say, you know what, I'm gonna push through anyhow.
Yeah.
You grow. You build, and then the brain, you know, remembers that and it says, well, okay, I did it once, you know, I can do it again. And the more and more you do that in every area of your life, the more you get into certain situations, and I don't want to say you don't get nervous. You do, but you just know that you can do it. You know that you can push through it. So it's that's how we grow, man. And you know that is we got to put ourselves in those situations, and that's where people fall short in life. Is they're stuck in their little box. They're stuck in their little comfort zone. They're stuck with mediocrity.
Yeah.
And as soon as they start to get uncomfortable, boom, they go right back in their shell.
Yeah.
And that scares me. I don't like that feeling. I don't want to be there. And that's why they don't grow. That's why they don't become exceptional because they never face their fears.
That's right, because comfort and change cannot coexist, right? So if you want to be a change maker in your own life, if you want to make any changes in your life, you can't stay comfortable.
You hit the nail on the head. You're absolutely right. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right.
And so it looks like you're an expert at putting yourself out there and stretching that comfort zone, right? And I heard it last night in a call that I had an ex-mentor, not ex-mentor, he's still a mentor, but I haven't been in touch with him for many, many years. But
yeah,
I was on a call with him last night, and he said, you know what? I was terrible at getting outside of my box. He said it scared the shit out of me. But what I did was I stretched my box. You know, I just stretched the comfort zone. I stretched it a little, and I was okay with that. Yeah, so sometimes we talk about getting outside of the box. I thought that was a great analogy, a way to think about it, because that's where the magic happens, on that edge, right? Not necessarily having to take a big leap out there where it is really, really scary, but just pushing it a little bit, and then that becomes the new normal. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Just, slowly but surely. And I mean, you'll attest to this, that we all, like, man, I still get nervous. You still get nervous. Like, it's there. Like, we're never going to master every area of our life. Like, we're always going to continue to grow. But the more you just kind of look at it, like you said, stretch that box, the more you're like, okay, I can do this. It's not so bad. And then you're just taking on more things.
Yeah, definitely. All right, awesome. Now, one more question before we wrap it up. What advice have you got? I mean, there's obviously been some really great golden nuggets in what you've shared already, but what advice would you like to give others out there that are wanting to make a change, whether it be in their career, their health, personal life, whatever it is? What advice would you give them? What's that one piece of advice you've got for them?
Okay, well, what if I asked you to allow me to give two?
Sure. Why not?
Yeah, sure. Man, there's so many things, and just to kind of narrow it down. I don't know if I can say one thing. So, but I would have to say, my top two. Which one do I want to cover first? Is to okay. So the first one, let's say. To make change, we already kind of touched on it, so we're not going to talk a lot about it. To make change and lasting change is establishing those rituals and those habits.
Yeah.
Because people say to me all the time, man, like, dude, you're always happy. How are you always happy? Now, man, I have my bad days. We all have bad days, man.
We don't see them very much, Mark.
I'm not a robot. I got emotions, even though people think that I'm this, this Mr.
Energizer
guy.
buddy.
Like, no, man. Deep down inside, like, I cry just like everybody else. And so, with that being said, is just that gratitude. I do mine through, praying before meals. Throughout the day, a gratitude journal is huge. Like in the morning, the first thing I do, the alarm goes off. I whip out the sheets. I put the feet on the ground, and I take 20 seconds, and I'm like, man, thank you. Thank you for a new day. Thank you for this opportunity to get out there, do what I love to do. Give me the inspiration. Give me the drive to use the gifts you gave me to help make a positive difference in this world.
Awesome. Love it.
Yeah, like literally that's pretty much it. I get up and then I go about my day. Your morning ritual is key. Like if you drag out and you hit fucking snooze and you mosey out of bed and you wind downstairs and you have a cup of coffee and you look at Facebook, and man, that's not a good way to set your day. So establish good rituals, good habits. And it'll pay dividends because, we become what our habits are, in essence. So that would be number one. Number two, it's again, another cliche thing is action. So I'm going to put you on the spot, Judy. You put me on the spot. Okay, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Sure.
Here we go.
Bring it.
You like riddles?
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. So we have three people. Okay, we'll call them warriors. So we have three warriors there's three people, and they're standing on the side of a river embankment. So on the berm, a river embankment. They're looking down at the river. There's the water. And again, they're on the side. They're looking down at the water, and two of them decide to jump in the water. Now, how many are left standing on the side of the river embankment?
Well, literally, there's one, but if the two jumped in and brought the other guy with them, then there would be none.
I like your thought mentality. But, so you want the answer, of course, right? You want the answer, of course, right?
Of course, yeah.
Okay. So the answer is that there's three.
There's still three.
Okay. There's still three.
Maybe I'm not so good at riddles after all.
So the reason being is that two of them decided to jump in. Now, just because we decide to do something doesn't mean we actually do it.
That's right.
People decide, I'm going to lose weight. But do they actually take the actions to lose the weight? No. Decision does not equal action. So where I'm going with that is it all comes down to the action.
Doing it. It's
absolutely doing it. Yeah. And, so we all know the critics. Like, you got the critics, who sit on the sidelines, and then they run their mouths and they talk a big game, but they don't put the action behind it to make it happen. Like, I'm going to be a millionaire. That's great. How are you going to be a millionaire? And are you taking the action and putting the plan in place to become a millionaire? Are you taking the action? That's where people fall short. Yeah. So I'm going to end with this. Hopefully I get it. I get it straight. And it's one of my favorite sayings from a commandant of the United States Marine Corps. Okay, and it goes something like this: is that the galleries, they're full of critics. They play no ball and they fight no fights. They make no mistakes because they attempt nothing. Yeah. Now, down in the arena are the doers. They make many mistakes because they try many things. Now, the man or the woman that makes no mistakes lacks boldness and spirit of adventure. They're on the wheel of progress. And yet, it cannot be truly said that they make no mistakes, because their biggest mistake is the fact that they try nothing, do nothing, except for criticize those who do things. So in life, you can either be a critic, or you can take the action, and you can be a doer, and you can achieve the life of your dreams.
Oh, I love that. Love that. Such incredible advice, and it's such true words. The key is in, like what we spoke about before, you can have all the knowledge in the world. You might not have it. You may have it. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you've got or what you know. It's about whether you take a step forward and whether you do what you say you're going to do and whether you just take those steps forward. So true. The key to success, right?
Amen. Absolutely. You got to take the action and you got to make it happen. Like, it's not going to, it's not going to be given to you. People aren't going to give you that silver platter, man. You got to earn it. You got to put in the work, and you got to make it happen.
I love it. Such awesome advice. It's been so great also to hear more about your story and for you to be able to share that with others as well. I'm sure there's lots of people out there that love to hear more and get to know you even more. And if you're anyone that's in Bali or wanting to head to one of Mark's incredible retreats, then where can they find you?
Okay, so you can go to activeescapes.com. I the Thailand retreats are amazing. I'm going to be doing workshops basically all over the world. But you can go to my website. It's kind of in the making, but there's a landing page, and you can send me an email. You can message me, and it's coachmariani.com.
Okay.
That's how they can get a hold of me.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. It's been such an incredible conversation with just, again, great insight, great knowledge, great information, and the energy and the inspiration that you brought is, you know, world class.
Thank you so much. Again, it's my honor to be here with you because I really respect you a lot. And yeah, thanks again, Judy. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. It's been a pleasure to have you here.